We talked yesterday what we needed to happen for Bitcoin. It is important that you do the pre-market updates. We can talk about Polkadot today. We can talk about Cardano today. We can talk about Jasmy today. But it was important that we needed one thing to happen on Bitcoin before we could talk about these altcoins. It was this 38.2% retracement. It was this 113,000 level that Bitcoin needed to break. It needed to close above, and it needed to hold at the end of yesterday's close of play. It wasn't just the daily close of play. It was the weekly. It was the monthly. This is a new session. We're moving into October. So it is important that we look for the Big Daddy to make the first move. The Big Daddy did make the first move, and now we're starting to see a bit of acceleration from Bitcoin. We can jump into your altcoins, so let's dive in. But before we get into the Cardanos, the Polkadots, before we get into your Jasmy coins, we need to understand exactly why we're looking at Bitcoin to lead the way. Why was yesterday's video so important? Why do we look at the macro to give us an indication where risk flows at any given time? Why was this so important, the 38.2? Why did I mention yesterday that if we held this 38.2, that we could expect a continuation going into the next week, going into the next few days? And this is what's likely to happen because Bitcoin is showing so much strength here. And because Bitcoin is showing so much strength here, that means that we can move across the risk curve. Remember, we don't just look at Bitcoin, we look at Bitcoin dominance, we look at the total three, we look at the S&P 500, we look at the Russell 2000, we look at the DXY, we look at the USDT dominance, we look at the Bitcoin dominance. We collectively look at lots of different charts to paint a picture from a macro perspective, exactly whether we're risk on, whether we're risk off, and whether we're likely to change sentiment as far as coming out of off risk, i.e. Bitcoin within crypto, to on risk, i.e. altcoins, and even further down the risk curve of high risk altcoins. But we're going to start with the three that are the most popular on the channel, and we'll start with Cardano. So anyone that can remember the last Cardano video, we're talking about this. This, my friends, is a bull flag. There is the flagpole. This is the flag. So one thing within a bull flag, you've got your 50% level, and we talked about this in the previous video. When you're below the 50% level within a bull flag, that is bearish. The bears have got control. When you're above the 50 level, this is the 50 level. When you're above the 50 level, the bulls have control. The aim of the game in the short term is to come back, test the top of the channel, break through the channel, hold the channel of support, and then expect a continuation. There's a higher probability as far as percentages are concerned because this is a bull flag, not a bear flag. If it was a bear flag, it'd look like this. And you'd expect to continue to the downside. This is the opposite. It's a bull flag. It's going like this. You expect a continuation to the upside. So this is good. We're breaking the 81 cent level. That was the level in the previous video that I said, once we start breaking that, then we can start looking to hold that level of support, getting enough momentum to be able to reset the indicators and have enough strength to be able to push through the top of this barrier. So on Cardano, I'm not looking for projections, guys. This is going to take a few days to play out. Because that's going to take a few days to play out, I'll be doing more videos. I'm going to be here with you along the way, and I'll keep you posted and I'll keep you updated of any changes on Cardano. But you can get yourself in the Discord group because we do post charts in there. And if you do want to stay up to date and you are in Cardano, you can get yourself in there. It is completely free. Next one, Polkadot. Look at this, $3.95. This is another key level that I said that we needed to break. You can see with Polkadot, we was edging towards the apex of this pennant. We'd already had a fake out to the upside, pushed back in, and now we're breaking out again. So breaking the $3.95 by the end of the day is going to be strong for Polkadot. Then you've got $4.29. Once you break $4.29, you've got the top of this range here. And once you break the top of this range, you're looking for bigger projections out here, $4.98, $5.54. This is just one move, guys. When you zoom out and you look how insignificant that move is there, the move that we're in now in comparison to the swings that Polkadot's done before in the past. So like I say, you're going to get an acceleration once you start taking out these levels here. Start taking out these levels here, and you start taking out these levels here. You expect acceleration, and then swings to the upside, which are a lot more volatile than what they have been in the apex of this pennant. So that is Polkadot. And finally, we've got Jasmy coin. Jasmy coin, is it showing any strength? And zoom in. Again, 0.01245. See, these are the levels that I've said in the previous videos that we need to break before we can get any kind of momentum. Before we can get any kind of momentum, we need Bitcoin to lead the way. Before Bitcoin leads the way, we need confidence in the market. All of these things, we need catalysts, we need sentiment, we need flow of money going into the economy. You can see that by the M2 money supply. We have got flows of money going into the economy. United States are a little bit late to the market. a little bit late to the game. But other than that, guys, I think that's about it from me for now. Everything's looking rosy. You've got your next resistance point 0.01418 on Jasmy, and then you've got all the way up here at 0.01681. So like I say, guys, these are short-term moves. Short-term moves, when you start breaking through these moves, then you start getting bigger swings, more volatile swings. They're easier to take profits on once you've got an allocation during build phase. But man, once you miss that and once you miss the breakouts, they're really difficult to get because the pullbacks are just as volatile and the pullbacks can wreck you just as much. So if you did enjoy this video, let me know in the comments what you want me to cover next. There wasn't much projections on here because we were in a tough time as far as the market's concerned. We need to understand where the directional bias is going to be over the next couple of weeks. So it's important that we keep on top of it, we monitor it, and we understand what levels that we need to break. We'd seen on Jasmy, we need to break, we need to hold the 0.01245. We'd seen on DOT, we needed to break, we need to close above the $3.95. We'd seen on Cardano, we need to break, we need to close above the 81 cents. And then yesterday, we seen on Bitcoin, we needed to break, we need to close above the 113,866. So looking at yesterday in comparison today, today we're starting to get momentum. Today we're starting to get a shift. If that shift continues going into the next couple of weeks, that is going to create the surge in altcoins that we've been waiting for. So let me know in the comments what you want me to cover next, and I'll see you in the next one.